What's up, everybody, and welcome to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
And I'm his wife, Deirdra Mobley.
And we are something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose. Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings.
Is these lights bright or is it just me? They always been this bright?
It's a little brighter today for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, so y'all can see us.
Thing.
Well, y'all can see us good. See, I can see all the little lint on my glasses. I don't like that.
It's about to put you in a tizzy?
A little bit. I'm all right, though.
I hope it don't. I really hope it don't.
Let me get the cloth out. Hush, Allison. Because I was going to leave this in there. She said, but you got your cloths? I got my cloths. What's up, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with y'all? So today...
Today what?
Is
what?
Ask the Mobleys.
Valentine's Day.
It's not Valentine's Day. It's so not. So not. A strong no. Hard no. It's not. Oh my God.
What's up with these glasses, sir?
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's filthy, ain't it?
It is. It really is.
Jesus. So.
Because most of the times it be real clean and I don't see why you have an issue. But tonight it's dirty. Right?
Mm-hmm. You said most of the time it be clean?
Mm-hmm. And you be saying it's dirty. Y'all, these omega-3 deluxe trail mix thingies are really good. They come from Sam's with 2 different
all right
trail mixes in a pack, in a bag.
All right. Remember what happened last time you ate some?
It's not going to happen today.
Remember what happened?
What happened?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. Look what happened. That is what happened. The people remember.
So you just don't, excuse me. So you just don't, what was I going to say?
Don't say I don't cover you.
So you just don't forget nothing.
No. I try not to. Work on my brain muscles.
No, I'm talking about the fact that I was choking.
Yeah, you choked a little bit.
On the trail mix the other time.
You were a little hungry and you tried to douse a lot of it and, you know, it turned out to be a very nice reel. It made me laugh.
Did it?
And it make you chuckle? It made you chuckle a little bit. It did.
It did a little bit.
It did. And that would made it even worse because then you started choking.
That one's still dirty.
Can you tell the people what we talk about tonight?
Mm-hmm. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You all right?
I am. Our baby grandboy had to go to the doctor today.
You look all right.
Thank you.
And he's all right.
He is well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get some tests ran and stuff, but you know, he is well. And I got a chance to spend a little time with him. Always great to spend time with the grandbabies. Me and him was cooling and chilling. He was chilling with Bubba. And then when Gigi got him, he cried a little bit. And then came back to me and he was chilling.
So what you trying to say?
He cried with you and he chilled with me. At least out of 9 of them, 1 of them preferred me. That's all I'm saying.
I want to know what you're trying to say to me, though.
Out of 9 of them, 1 of them preferred me. And I'm going to say that until he can tell me something otherwise.
Well, I think all of them, you know.
I think they like me.
It's balanced.
Yeah,
you know?
I think they like me.
They love you.
I think they like me. I think I'm all right with them.
You ready?
I am ready. So what we doing tonight?
What we doing?
We have gotten some of you guys' questions. And we're going to ask questions on relationship and family. If you want to send your question to us and have us read them live on the podcast.
This is not live.
You send them. We have them days. It's live when it comes to you.
It's recorded.
Live. It's live. If you'd like to send us your questions about relationships and families, and you just want to know our thoughts and suggestions, please send them to info@momentswiththemobleys.com. All other things, social media, we are Moments with the Mobleys on all social media platforms, except for Twitter. We are Moment Mobleys.
Nope.
We are moving with the Mobleys.
Nope.
Dang it. It's something Mobley
Mobley.
moments.
Thank you.
Mobley moments.
And you
Don't
said that 3
judge
times.
me. I was trying to get it out. My brain was saying one thing. My mouth was coming and saying something else. But we are Mobley moments.
You are the only one who is judging yourself because nobody else here said that they was judging you.
Because you kept saying no.
I was just trying to help you.
That wasn't helping me.
Okay.
Anyway, and then Allison was laughing, so that was no help in none of
I'm
this.
sorry.
Anyway, if you want to ask us questions about your relationship, just to know our opinion, please send it to me. info@momentswiththemobleys.com. And we will
keep it anonymous.
keep it anonymous. We don't call nobody.
What we gonna keep it?
We keep it private.
Oh.
I have problems with that word. And
Say you
know
don't. Say anonymous.
Anonymous. That's
I
right.
can't with you. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Very good. And then
we will keep it anonymous.
Yeah. Thank you. Because you're highly educated.
I am. That don't mean I can't have problems with words. I'm human.
You're right.
But I got strength in all the right places.
Well, what you talking about?
Listen, stop.
Okay. So listen. Here's the first one.
Oh, Lord.
My husband and I have been together for 11 years and married for 5 years. He has 6 grown kids that have been a pain. They gave one of the sons a car a few years ago, and he ran it into someone's house while under the influence. That's DUI. The daddy gave him another car a little while later, and he ran this car into a pole and a tree in a single car accident. So her and the husband had it out because the wife was telling her, mind you, these are not her kids, not biological. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he was getting ready to give him another car. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so her and the husband had it out because she was saying, why are you repeatedly giving him vehicles when you see he is being reckless, not being responsible, drinking and driving, could hurt himself as well as somebody else. Right. Mm-hmm. As on top of the fact that this was one of the kids, 26 years old, the biological mama, pretty much kind of is done with him because he's just, I guess, living a reckless life, and she's trying to put him on a better path, but he don't want to have no parts of it. So she pretty much washed her hands up with him, right? Mm. So that basically, the wife is saying that basically leaves him and all his problems in their house because the daddy feel like he got to continuously help him, even though he is still being reckless. Just doing immature stuff, and you're 26 years old, okay? He says, she is at the point to where she wants to leave because he never gives the son any, consequences. He's always cleaning up all his messes, which is taking money out of their household. Mm. And this is continuously. She's currently pregnant with their second child, but she's over him, not holding the son accountable for his wrongdoings and the fact that she believes that he needs to let him learn from his mistakes. So basically, she's ready to go. What you got?
She ready to leave him because of that. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, it's amazing how he done had 2 accidents under the influence, ran his car through a home, and then hit a tree and a pole?
I guess in the same accident.
Yeah.
And it says something about him having destroying a couple other cars that the daddy got for him. So
no police, no law enforcement been called ever on none of this?
Well, she didn't get into all that. She didn't say that. Well, obviously there was a consequence because she say that has money coming out of their household because the daddy got to clean up the mess.
Yeah.
So I'm sure something is,
Now, I know, so that's tough because the dad probably feel like he's the only one that that's
That he
in
still, the
in
boy
his
still got.
life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at that same time, he got to, yeah, he can't baby him.
Right.
He can't baby him. Not when he making decisions like this. So he got to allow some of this stuff to happen. So I'm pretty sure law enforcement was called out. He probably was put in jail or whatever the case is. He got bail. Daddy probably paid it.
Right.
And then all court costs and all this other stuff he probably did. Probably got some probation. I'm not sure what else, but if this has happened more than one time, I don't know what town y'all live in and let this continue to happen with the same boy.
We ain't talking about the town. We talk about in the house.
Anyway, I get what the husband's trying to do,
Right.
but at your boy 26,
Yeah, he ain't a teenager.
He is manipulating you.
Yeah.
So I'm sure conversations with him are probably a lot different because everybody's walked out of his life and he's probably voiced that.
Mm-hmm.
And dad want to make sure he's not the one that walks out of his life. But you got to teach him how to be a man and teach him how to be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And he got to make better choices. And at 26, so let me give you my version. At 26, when my children when they got out the house, once they became independent, because what we told our girls were, you can stay here until you get married, after you graduate high school, college, whatever the case is. You can stay. Only one of our daughters did that. Everybody else, they was on the first thing smoking. But when they came back, they were always welcome back, but they had to have an exit plan, which means they had to have a plan on when they came back, what they was going to actually do here, and then how they was going to build themselves back up, get on their feet, and move out. Because there was no more staying with us forever. Sir, you have to get your son to have some type of exit plan. Some type of exit plan of some sort. And you can't allow his choices for you to be responsible for his choices. I know he's your son, but at the end of the day, if he is taking his life for granted and you are having to adjust your life and your family and your wife for the mistakes that he is making, then you need to change what you're doing.
Right.
You just need to change what you're doing. I don't think, I could tell you this, I'm not going to lose. If the circumstances were completely different, I would see. But where we at now with this letter, I would not lose my wife and my family for that. I just wouldn't. I would. Now, that don't mean I won't stay in my son's life. But I would tell him some hard truths. And then he's going to have to get himself together. Period. I think your boy need to begin a rehab. If he drinking that much, he need to be in rehab. What you think?
I mean, I concur with what you said. But did you still answer the? You gave the dad leave? some suggestions and some advice, but she's saying she ready to chuck the deuces because daddy won't do that. And the way I'm thinking is maybe really sit dad down, because sometimes when you're arguing and you're tussling, emotions are strong, but he probably defensive because being angry about his child, and and he looking at it maybe one-sided or whatever. Just maybe and then of course you're pregnant now, so then that adds to even more to the emotion. Is the 26-year is the child, I ain't gonna even call him a child, but he's his child, but is the man, does he need to be responsible? Absolutely, just like Johnny said. But for me, for the woman, I just think maybe try to have a conversation with him. Let me see what she was. She said we had it out hot and heavy. Because there's always a way to another way to approach your husband. And sometimes when you say you came at him hot and heavy, y'all had it out and all these things. Maybe the way that you came and had the conversation with him, being in an explosive manner, you both were not level-headed at that point. So my suggestion would be maybe to try to talk to him, in a calm atmosphere. When y'all can have a civilized conversation and just sit down and talk to him, baby. I need you to listen to me, from my heart. I love him just as much as you love him. I don't want you to abandon him. But if you keep doing the same thing, thinking you're going to get a different result,
Yeah.
it's going to still be the same thing. And he is too old now to be doing these things before he hurt himself or hurt somebody else. So you maybe try that and let him know the seriousness, the point to where you are at this point, that you're seriously contemplating leaving him, and you're pregnant. Yeah. So just let him know from your heart, like, this has bothered me to the point to where I'm seriously thinking of leaving, because you are putting satisfying him over taking care of our house and me, and putting him first before your wife.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that could be
your son's
another conversation.
irresponsibility has overflowed into your husband's irresponsibility, and now he's being irresponsible and not responsible for his stuff. That means the same thing. So
yeah.
But that's what's happening, and his attention is always geared towards his son. So I agree with Deirdra, since she said I ain't answered the question.
No, you did. You gave advice for him, for the daddy.
I did,
and I gave it for the wife.
I'm just looking at it. If everybody is left, and he feel like his dad is the only one there, and
then that may be a guilt trip played on the dad as well, too.
But what my whole question would be, when he was a child, what was the atmosphere then? Because I'm positive this just didn't happen overnight.
Of him just being,
reckless. This didn't happen overnight. So if something happened somewhere with his upbringing, which had to be with mom and dad, or whoever y'all allow him to stay with. So it's a deeper concern than that. Wifey, I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. Like Deirdra said, talk. Y'all have a conversation. Even if you have to bring some proof of how much money he spent and all these other things. Because a lot of time when people doing this, they don't pay attention to what they spending. They just want to fix the problem. So if he's been doing this for a while, bring to the table and say, baby, this was going on. This is how much we spending out of our household to help, and then just show him. And we got a baby coming over, and then ask him what the plan is. Because he probably don't have a plan. Then y'all can build from there. I don't think he should throw it away for his boy while his boy out there wilding out.
Yeah. Okay.
Just I ain't answered the question.
I would.
You ain't tell her what she need to do.
I just said you left that part out.
You knew.
But you did well.
You knew that boy been a part of his life before you married.
No, but it don't even matter.
It does.
Well, she does know. She doesn't want him to not be in his life. But she just want him to make him take responsibility for his actions.
You're right. And I'm not by any means necessary. I'm not saying
you're just saying that to me to be combative.
It was all for her. That was not for the.
That was Deirdra Petty, right?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. Next, we have. It says it's from a lady. And it says her and her husband have been talking about having another kid. As crazy as their life is, she started to become super excited. Right? They only have 2 kids, and so she said this was the second time since they. I guess this was the second conversation that they had about talking about having a third child. Right? And they had even been already trying to conceive. But one night after, giving the kids a bath and putting them to eat, dinner, the bath, putting them to bed and all that, he just out of the blue and says, if things are this disorganized, I'm leaving.
What?
No. He said that was exhausting. And then he says, and she said, okay, this is what I'm talking about. But you mentioned, wanting to have a third child. But how do you come out and say, if things are this disorganized, I'm leaving? She said, literally, they washed them, put them to bed, fed them, washed them, put them to bed. The kids weren't being, fussy with one another or anything. And she couldn't understand where that comment was coming from. And so she's feeling now like she had gotten a little, like excited about the fact of having another baby. But she feels now, since that comment was made, that he's not going to want to do it now.
Yeah, sweetie, you.
And so now she's sad because,
Yeah, you shouldn't want to do it if he made that comment. Yeah, he know.
Yeah.
So my question would be,
what was disorganized?
My question would be, how many times has daddy fed the kids and put them to bed? Matter of fact, not even feed the kids. You feed the kids, y'all tag team. You feed the kids, they get up from the dinner table, and then daddy go take them and wash. That don't sound like he does that at all.
Because he was exhausted after that
one time
right there. I don't know how many times you did it, sir. But for you to say, if things are this disorganized, I'm leaving, well, how about help her get it organized? Because I don't understand where the disorganization came from. She said because they literally washed the kids, put them in the bed. No fights or nothing. Mm-hmm. And, the kitchen wasn't a wreck or anything like that.
That's because he didn't really want to do it. And then when he did it, the only thing...
It was unorganized.
His mind was already in a negative place. So as far as he was concerned, it was all unorganized, and now I'm not doing this. And the man said he's going to leave. And we ain't getting
pregnant. We not trying no more for a third.
How you going to leave the whole house, though? You going to just leave the whole family? Because of one night of Washington? That's some immature stuff. I'm just going to say. That's immature.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you should have been helping doing something. That's called having a relationship with your kids past just kissing them and putting them in the bed or whatever the case is. So, yeah. Hopefully, I don't know how long y'all been married, but hopefully this came out of an emotional state of something that he had.
Just maybe him being exhausted already from work or something.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Because that's a very extreme statement to make.
Yeah.
With just washing. And then you was with him. Very extreme. So I'm just really hoping that was a bad situation. I think you should have a conversation with him. And I understand that you are sad, but I think you need to rethink some things too. Because if that's a statement that he made, then do you really want to have another baby with him?
Right. And that be even more on you.
Because if he said that with the kids you got now, and then, it actually becomes a reality, then you'll have another whole baby. You want somebody in this with you to win. You want somebody in it with you full time to win. And that sounds like he, either one, that's the first time he's ever done it, or two, he just had a bad day and that response came from a bad place.
Right.
So I think conversations need to be had. But I do think you probably need to take about 3, 4, 25 steps back just to hold up on the baby.
You went from 3 to 4 to 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, just take the 25 step back. Don't be sad. Be glad that, the conversation, that it happened, and,
I wouldn't even say be glad. I would say be cautious.
Right, but I'm saying
concerned.
Don't be sad. I'm saying be happy about the fact that he made that comment, and you may want to talk to him about why he made the comment, or what headspace he was in, or where did it come from. I'm just saying.
Always saying stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm not trying to be funny by saying be happy, that it came out, but there's a red flag there, or a yellow flag, or whatever color flag you want to say it was. So explore that further. Where did that comment coming from? Were you already exhausted? Were you not in the mood to help with doing all that stuff for them tonight? So you may want to, like Johnny said, be cautious and look at that, because you already says that, your life is already crazy because y'all got 2 kids. You didn't put the age, but, probably working on top of that. And then, y'all talking about it. It's always exciting. For me, it used to be, because I was pregnant back to back to back.
I don't know what was wrong with her.
I'm not gonna say that it was exciting for me. Well, the first one, of course, it wasn't because I was still in high school. The second one, I thought it was too close to the first one. The third one, didn't want another baby because I already had 2 babies. And then the fourth pregnancy, I think I was all right. That was the only one that I was like chill. Okay, well,
That was the baby girl.
That was Johnny shit. This the
I
last
think the third
one.
one.
I'm signing my paperwork to get my
She
tubes
found
tied.
out she was having 2, and she was just looking at
A
me.
month before I had them. Well, I was depressed the whole pregnancy with the twins, not knowing they were twins. So, ta-da-da, there you have it. But, yeah, just, babe, let's talk. Where did that come from? You were excited at one point. Where did it come from? Because if it's all going to be on you, then you might want to look at that. Because your crazy will be turning to even more crazy.
I just think the conversation to be had is the first time he made this statement. This just come from a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
All the questions I got, first time he made the statement, did this just one time incident that it came from a bad place? Is his first time he ever helped you with the kids? All that stuff got to be looked at before you go and have a conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this is the first time he's helped you with the kids and that's what he had to say, take 2,500 steps backwards.
You're crazy.
Just from the bedroom, not from the marriage, but from the bedroom. He can't. You can't get no more.
Now you telling me don't be sad, but now you gonna talk about take 2,500 steps backwards?
I apologize. Anyway, that was just an immature statement that he made, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should have been something better, regardless of what he was feeling. I think it should have been. He should have used his words better.
Yeah.
He leaving.
Most definitely.
Hopefully, he was talking about leaving the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking about. No,
okay.
I don't think.
I'll try to help Buddy out.
Yeah. So this next one is a little bit of a tussle with a situation with a child, with a 16-year-old. And this is from hold up. Okay, so this is from the husband. And it's about, because sometimes you can get into tussles with your spouse about how to rear the children or how much to give them when it comes to gifts or, how much to allow them to do extracurricular activities. You might disagree on that, or letting them have a cell phone at a certain age, or overindulging them with gifts for birthdays or different things like that. Because in all honesty, these are things that you all have to talk about before you get married. It's good to talk about it. The rearing of the kids, that needs to be, a topic that you make sure that you discuss before you get married. Because it's going to come up if you all decide to have kids. Because that's the question. Okay, so are we going to decide? Do we both want to have children? If so, how many? What's your rearing style? What's your rearing style?
I would say definitely asking about the kids, how many you want to have, the parenting part, as it develops, then they can have conversations about it then. Because times change.
Times change. But they can at least have a conversation based on how they were reared. You see what I'm saying?
How they was brought up?
Right. I think that needs to be shared with one another as well. About talking about how, I know things change. Of course I know things change. And times change and all these things. But I would say that needs to be a topic that's discussed too, because, okay, we in premarital counseling. We gonna have kids? Yeah, we both know that we want to have kids. Well, how many kids we want to have? Okay, well, we both decided we want 2. Maybe a girl and a boy. If the first 2 we get, that's going to be it. We're going to have 2 kids. So we've come up with that. Well, I think that at least, you don't have to put no hardcore guidelines on see what I'm saying? Yeah. On the books or in your notes that this is how we're going to parent and this is it. And we're not going to stray from this. This is word is bond, right? But at least have the conversation about how you were raised. because that's going to give your spouse a preview into how you may want to parent and what things might come up. Of course, the kids ain't even here yet. So it ain't, like I said, you ain't got to write a whole, declaration down that cannot be,
Yeah.
tweaked or anything like that. But it's just to let you know, because believe it or not, I know you've seen where some people get, and we've had conversation, well, maybe seen couples or at least one couple that they get into the marriage, and if they've never had a conversation about how they were raised, you know what I'm saying? Or never had a conversation about their upbringing, whether they got spankings or not, whether, you see what I'm saying? Whether they, what their punishment, what the parents punished them for. Did they ever get punished? Did they get gifts on their birthdays, or were they allowed to stay up late at night with no bedtime inside, or were they on a strict schedule as far as bedtime on the weekdays? It's just different things like that. So it is, I think, a good choice to have that as a part of your premarital counseling. So we ain't never met. We ain't never met. We in premarital counseling, and I'm telling you what, Johnny, the way that I was brought up is that, I had to be in bed by 8:00. And, on my birthdays, I got, a birthday cake and one gift. My parents didn't lavish me. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened to me, but this is what I'm saying. My parents didn't lavish me with, just a big, amount of gifts. Or when I got 16, I wasn't given a car. I had to work for my car. And when I went to, I had to go to a 2-year college here because they wanted to make sure that I transitioned well from high school to college. And then after that, I would be able to go, or 1 year here. You see what I'm saying? You might have had something totally different.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if we having a conversation about how you was raised, then I need to be hollering at your mama.
You don't need what?
Because if we go do everything like your mama did you,
no,
then I need to holler at your mama.
No. What I'm saying is,
this is the way.
I'm not saying this is how we have to parent our children. I'm telling you that this was my experience.
Okay.
And so at that point, you can say, well, baby, I got unlimited gifts on my birthday, and for my sweet 16, my parents gave me a BMW. And I didn't work. I didn't do no chores or anything. I just did my schoolwork, and they said that was enough. And I partied on the weekends, and I didn't have a curfew. I was able to stay up until I wanted to go to sleep, and that was from elementary school up until high school. I was able to stay up until I wanted to go, until I was ready to go to bed, and all these things. That was your experience. And so we get into this marriage.
I got no BMW when I turned 16.
Negro, I didn't. I'm using this for an example.
Oh, okay.
And so we get into a marriage, and now here we are ready to parent these kids.
You got two different perspectives on how we gonna parent the kids.
Absolutely. And we never talked about it.
I 100% agree.
That's what I'm saying.
The conversation has to be had.
Yeah.
But if you come to us with married account, the first thing we go tell you is y'all got to create your own stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we give tools to help. Because the biggest thing with this, you don't know the personality that your child is going to have.
You do not know.
So you don't know what type of person that this little person is going to be. So as they grow up and they try to figure out stuff, then you create. So I'm not saying that they should not have the conversation. They should have the conversation before the premarital counseling. They should have the conversation. That's when we talk about doing the dates.
However, if they haven't, we'll know that before they get married, they'll have it in that.
But after we talk about all that, after all that is talked about, then the conversation that needs to be had is that Johnny, you're an individual, and Deirdra, you're an individual.
Absolutely.
And now the life that you had in your parents' home, they build, basically customize and try to do their best with you. So now you got to take what you've learned there, some stuff and some not stuff, and bring it here. And then Deirdra, the exact same thing. And then now y'all got to figure out how y'all go put y'all ingredients together to create the best, the best environment for your children.
Absolutely. But if that conversation never happens,
if it never happens, then
that's all I was saying.
Yeah, it's an expectation that's there. That
thank you.
And I got it. Because if they don't have the conversation, then I'm thinking that this is what all kids get. This is how everybody got
Right.
raised.
Well, I'm just putting this, saying this as a prerequisite to the question I'm about to give you, because you was like, well, no, I don't think, sir, a conversation got to happen. Now, where you going?
We tussling on air
No, I
for
think
real?
you was trying to tussle with me a little bit. I'm not tussling, baby. I agree with everything after that first initial thing that you said. I just had to get my point across.
What you're saying. The conversation has to be had.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying take everything, that was in our childhood and use all of it.
All right, come on. Just did that because I knew it was going to get a reaction.
Don't touch it. Okay, so listen. Okay, so this is the husband. Okay, this is from the husband.
All right.
He said, I feel if our children make any feasible request, we should provide it. For instance, his teenage daughter is a straight A student, does very well in school. They did this was for her Sweet 16, a photo shoot. She wanted a party bus. She had made a list of what she wanted for her Sweet 16. And so they said they did everything on the list. The most expensive item was a laptop. She made a request a while ago to have large pictures from the photo shoot made to put up in her room. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the daddy said, sure. The wife said, why? The wife said she got everything she already asked for, and just because the kids want it, don't mean they have to get everything. Mm-hmm. Okay? He said he don't understand. He just don't understand. Why? Why not? It says the wife's stance on it is that she feels sometimes the kids need to hear a no. Sometimes. So I'm guessing he's been, or
saying yes
they've been, kind of. And I guess you find it easier to say yes, especially if your children are responsible children, making straight A's, doing very well in school, blah blah blase blase blase, right? The husband says, I feel the world will tell them no often enough, and the wife's response to that is they won't be prepared when those times arise, because we've crippled them in a sense.
Yeah. So
I understand where she's coming from.
I do. I understand where he's coming from as well.
Yeah.
But it has to be stuff that is reasonable. If you continue to provide for your kids like this and reward them on this level and never teach them, because going to school and making good grades.
In our house, you ain't doing no favors for me. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
You're supposed to go to school and make good grades. So your reward for getting good grades is going to the next grade. That's what it is. But you celebrate your children. You celebrate their wins. But I think if you do it big like that all the time, get everything that they want, then when they leave your household, they're going to expect the world to do that. And when the world doesn't do that, they're going to come back to where they can get it from. See, I agree with the wife. Sometimes they need to hear a no, but the no needs to come with an explanation. It needs to come with something. If you don't build character into your children, if they feel like going through life, all they got to do is do a good deed and gifts come to them, then that's not the real world. It's just not. That's how mom and daddy do it, but that's not the real world. So, and I get it, because I ain't got nothing but girls. So I get it. I promise you I do.
But we
instilled in our children.
Right, when we weren't able to do it, we told them no.
Yeah.
And we did give them an explanation. But a lot of stuff we did try to do.
But we instilled in them.
Excuse me.
This is the road. This is the level. This is the mindset you need to have going through life. Mm-hmm. And what we explained to them as far as being in touch with what they were doing, the accomplishments that they were making, and feeling good about that, because it puts it. They instill they learn stuff, they get smarter, they crave more knowledge, they crave more education, they crave all this stuff. So their decisions and their mindsets goes towards that. You got to make sure your children are not doing certain things just to get the stuff, because that's not how life gonna be. So if they just getting BMWs at 16 and all this stuff, I got it. Handle your business, take care of your children. I got that. But they need to know that this is what they need to do for themselves in life to be successful.
Because sometimes it can, I think, cultivate a spirit of, why did the word just leave me?
A spirit of what?
Entitlement.
So because they do a certain thing, stuff to just come to them.
Yeah, or just, I'm doing my work. Like you said, do it because that's going to help you, the knowledge, and that's why you do the good in school, not to just receive the gifts and all those things. Because if everything is given,
yeah,
then when you, like you said, when you get out in the world, you're going to think that it's, everything that it's, I'm just saying some people that could possibly be their mindset when they get in the real world, and because they think, I do, good, I should get. But sometimes it ain't gonna always be like that.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to cope with real life situations because they've never been told no.
My thing will be, while you giving them stuff, have conversations with them about her identity and her purpose. Make sure she's clear about why she's doing what she's doing and why she should want to be successful.
Excuse me.
Now, the gifts and stuff are fine, but you need to explain to her the real life stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. Just to explain to her the real life stuff. And mama, a no need to be said every now and then, but it need to be with an explanation, because now this little girl, 16, 17, she been getting everything. So for you to tell her no now, it's probably going to have some type of
pushback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now what you don't want to happen is daddy my favorite and mama not. Because right now she thinking y'all giving it to her.
Divide
so it's going to divide it. And daddy my, and mama, she feeling some kind of way. She jealous or something. You don't need all that. You don't need all that. So, but I think some explanation need to come out. Y'all need to make sure she's flat-footed, standing on a solid ground in her decision making and how she's handling her business. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Now I would never say not to give, because
he
I had
was
the
a
money,
softie as well.
I was gonna give my girls everything.
Yeah.
Because they were honor roll students. They was all that too. But I could tell you, me not having the money then to do that made me have valuable conversations with them about life, about who they were, about who I believe they were. So it made me have those conversations. Daddy, it's nice to buy them stuff. Talk to your baby.
Excuse me.
Talk to your baby, because I know a lot of men who don't know how to have relationships with their children. They buy stuff. Even with their wife, they buy stuff. And one thing they say is, I'll take care of you. You get in the kind of car you want. You get your shoes, the red bottom, all this. What you mean? I ain't here for you. And sometimes you just need to be present in the moment. Not your body being there, but you need to be 100% present in the moment, having a real talk with your children, with your wife. That's what needs to happen. Because at the end of the day, if all that stuff stripped away from you, then will she still love you? Will she still love you like that? You got to be careful what you build. And please don't take this as me saying don't provide, don't reward your children.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. definitely do it. Definitely do it. But I believe it needs to be done reasonable. They have to understand what it is to accomplish stuff on their own. Not just the good grades, but I'm gonna give you, like, when my girls, you want a car, I got half on it, what you got? That type stuff.
Teachers' responsibility.
Yeah,
like you said,
and it makes
and
them
character.
it makes them value what they
Yeah.
have more,
Yeah.
instead of just getting it. So I'll say that. What you shaking your head about this?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree, but it's not my podcast.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
but what you got to say? Say what you got to say.
I don't necessarily agree that telling your child no. When they on the right side of it, telling your child no is preparing them for the world, because as an adult, everything you do is to get a reward. We go to work to get a check. We pay bills so that we have lights. You know what I mean? We're not doing anything out of the kindness of our heart. Like, we're doing things.
Right.
Like, when it comes to the world.
To get something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you talking about like character and stuff like that. I think that's completely different than, because it would be different if, she was getting C's and D's and you giving her Nikes. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
She's working hard. I never really got the concept of, you go to school, you're supposed to get good grades, because it is hard to get A's and B's all the time. Like, you have to study and do your homework and pay attention in class. Like, it's not like I go get perfect attendance and I still get good grades. I work for it. So to say, oh, you're supposed to get good grades, it's not easy. Everybody don't have the same level of like learning abilities and stuff like that, and it's cookie cutter across the board. They don't care if you're a visual learner, or they don't care if you need an example. They're gonna teach everybody the same, right? So you can't necessarily say that and then say, no, you're supposed to get good grades. Well, no, I actually had like kicked butt to get this B plus. You know what I mean? So to say, oh well, the world is not going to reward you. Well, it does in a sense, because again, you go to work, you get a check, you pay your bills, you get things, you do overtime, you get extra money. You know what I'm saying? Those are rewards.
Well, I think we're talking from an aspect of, when we told them, well, that good grades, that's what you're supposed to get. But it wasn't that we chastised them if they made a B and not an A. We handled each child separately and said, okay, you got a C in this, because anything, the standards were higher in our house. But at the end of the day, if they would come home, we would have that conversation with them. Okay, so you got a C in math, or you got a C in reading. What can you do differently to help you retain more? What can we do to help you with that? When you need us to read with you, or you need a tutor in math, if we can't help you, can we, get somebody else to help you or whatever? It was because we did it as a supportive unit. So for us, they knew there were certain expectations, not that they would get the hell beat out of them if they didn't hold up to that standard or whatever, but they strived for things and we did reward them. But I think we mean saying no sometimes, because in the world, yeah, you go to work, you get paid, but there are some things you might be up for a promotion and you might be the baddest one out there, but then the promotion don't come to you. You get a no, and sister girl who ain't doing half the work that you're doing, she get a yes. You see what I'm saying? And if you've always been given yeses, and here you go, then that sometimes becomes, not everybody, but sometimes you find some children, that turn into, a college student and adults, they get out there and they literally have a conniption and anxiety and all these strange things, because that's never been, they've never been not chosen over this person for something, or you see what I'm saying, or not, or they've always won at everything. And I can't remember where I heard that at. Somebody was talking about, if you always win, you don't know what it is to, you see what I'm saying? And for especially for children who that's how they grow up, and that's what's instilled in them, and then they get out into the world and they get a no response, or they get a loss, but they don't know how to find the lesson in that loss, and some people have literally lost their minds. So we're talking about it from that aspect.
And what you said about the kids going to school, everybody learn. It is tough to learn.
Absolutely.
And everybody on different levels. But for some people, it's not.
Yeah.
So if they go to school and they bang out good grades all the time and they just get stuff wrong. My whole thing for that is the character building. They need to understand that. The character building and the integrity of what you're doing. And then the feeling that you get. If you go to school and make straight A's and we celebrate you, that's one thing. You did real good. You smart. We buying you cars. We buying you all this stuff. Then in their mind, that's going to be attached to what they do. So if I can't get it from here, I get it from somewhere else. That can turn down a totally dog road. And now you just doing whatever to get whatever you can get because you're used to this lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle being shown to this. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't.
Right.
She should know and taste, especially if the parents can do it, the good life. Mm-hmm. But she need to understand how it is standing on her own 2 feet and actually accomplishing it. She'll feel way better accomplishing it and getting this stuff herself than to just doing this stuff that comes easy to her. And then now she think it's going to be like this in life.
Yeah. Because there actually were times, and I'm glad you brought up that whole scenario that you did, because then I'm now thinking about, there are some times when you have parents who are so focused on never telling their children know about anything, because there were times that we might could have afforded the photo shoot and we might could afford the bus, but we didn't have money left for the iPad and the this and the that. And we literally had to say, well, these are the 2 things that you can get off the list. Right now we don't have it.
Necessarily a no.
Right. Right.
Let's talk.
Right.
We probably
but some people really have to say, well, no, baby, that's not going to happen right now. Or what you see what I'm saying? Because and that we would have those conversations. If the one thing that our kids got real raw, life stuff that was happening. We didn't hide that stuff from them. Why? Because I wasn't, of course, the only one thing we hid was, us telling them 20 years later about, infidelity. But the other stuff, if the lights got turned off or if the car got repossessed, all right, this is what it is. And we're going to still get y'all the way y'all need to be at, but this is what we're working with. So we working to do better. And
that's when they can understand.
Yeah, of course.
We didn't manage money good at that time, so we had a lot of stuff to learn. We was babies raising babies, basically. But
there were a lot of lessons.
I won't say that if I had the money that I would not have done it. Yeah. I probably would have did a lot more than I did. But the one thing that I wanted my girls to be are independent, strong women. And I just feel like you just have to, if they just get stuff without explanation, then that's not, they expect certain things. So to get an explanation, to appreciate, the appreciation of being able to get a car at 16, any kind of car, especially a BMW, but any kind of car. So now you're getting that so you can, get to school, you got a little part-time job, go to work, all that stuff. But with that, I just really feel like it has to come with some type of explanation.
It does.
And I'm not saying that they haven't done that, but it has to come with some type of explanation, especially now that the wife is feeling different than the husband. So this could go down a dark path, because if she says something and then he says something back, and somehow this little girl hear all this stuff, she gonna feel like daddy love me more than mama. And then she gonna start playing when you jealous because daddy take care of me and all this other stuff. And it don't need to be like that. The parents need to definitely be on one page.
But you know what?
At the end of the day.
And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking of something else. And I'm going to share it with you how the scenario of what we just talked about, we know somebody who dealt with it in real life, right? So I'm not going to call no names. But this child was raised that basically, and it's a person that they're an associate of ours. I wouldn't say friend.
Don't tell them. Just
no, I'm not going to.
The person is an associate.
Yeah, not a friend, but we know of. Let me put it like that. Their child was raised that they got, whether they was doing good or bad in school, they got everything. Everything. because the parent was, the focus was on always getting things, having nice things, and always getting them by any means necessary. And so therefore the child always got things all the time. There was never a no. Never a no. Never a no. Until when there was a no from somebody else, the child had this whole super duper meltdown, right? And so that was what the child knew and saw going up from birth, elementary school, middle school, high school. The child still pretty much, kind of, did her own thing. Did schoolwork, didn't do schoolwork. But the parents still gave, 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 gave. Okay, the child is out of high school. And because the other stuff that should have went along, like Johnny said, the explanations, the conversations, the building of integrity, the building of character, the building of accomplishing something on your own, whether it be your first car or getting your first job or whatever that looks like, that was never expected from her. And so guess what now? She's an adult with no sense of responsibility, an entitlement mentality now. That I'm supposed to get it. You ain't gonna get no job. You see what I'm saying? You ain't. So now you just live your life with no real goals in sight or anything. You just living day by day
with no plan.
Right, with no plan, nothing. No nothing. And so, like, legit, lackadaisical is all get out. No plan, no nothing. But that was not something that just happened as an adult. That's what was cultivated as a child. And now you're an adult with a child. And you pretty much do anything by any means necessary to get what you want. And so that's what we're talking about as the end result that could come out of it. So there you have it.
And at the end of the day, stuff don't replace relationship.
Right.
You have to have a relationship with your child. And I 100% believe that most people who gift a lot,
they're doing it to
I ain't gonna say 100%. They doing it to replace something else. Mm-hmm. So
not everybody.
Yeah, not everybody. So I've known husbands who've bought their wives and their children everything, and their wives was still not happy.
Mm-hmm. Because she didn't want that. She wanted time. Then when she
explained to him what it was, his response was, "You don't want for nothing. Anything you want, anything."
Or even towards the children.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know one kid who might have played football who daddy wasn't there because he was working, who didn't want their pop to be there. That just cheer for him. I don't know no kid that did not want that.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of times parents don't, and that has to do because of what they didn't get. Right. So you can't give nobody something that you never had.
Yeah.
But it's a learning experience, and you have options to where you can actually get this stuff and grab the tools. But at the end of the day, the best thing we could have ever gave our children was us.
Yeah.
The best thing that any parent can give their kids is them. Because at the end of it, if you're a daddy who don't think you can do it and you walk out and say, I'm not a good dude and all this, you a role model for your child, whether you in their life or not. Because they're going to run across a child, a friend, or something that got all that stuff, and they're going to wonder why they don't have it.
Yeah.
So it's very important to be hands-on. It's very important to have conversations. Mm-hmm. And explanations need to be had.
Yeah.
They just do. Trust me, I'm not saying gift your kids, you celebrate your child, and they wins however you want to do it.
Absolutely.
But you have to explain to them. It has to be some type of explanation with it. It has to be some type of structure, some type of something there. Because if not, then that's how they're going to expect life to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go to work to make a check, but I could be doing a lot more than what I've been doing. And I'm worth more than what I'm getting paid. So it's a lot of, when it gets to corporate worlds and other people's dreams, then you're getting in a person's dream to do what they tell you to do, not what you want to do. And then they promise you a lot of stuff that you might get and then you might not. But at the end of the day, yeah, I got to make a check, got to pay these bills, these lights, all this stuff got to happen. But we working in our dream as well. So it took a while for us to get to a place where we knew we had entrepreneurship in us, and then now we had to build our own thing. And our thing is the podcast and counseling. And it's an answer for the world. It's an answer for the world. We're not for everybody,
but we for somebody's. Amen.
So,
amen, Brother Mobley.
We're gonna leave it there.
We done, baby.
And Allison, thank you for that. Because that was a little jig. I know you probably gonna cut it out. You can't cut it out because that's gonna be a long pause where you was talking and we wasn't talking and we were just looking.
But it just, gives y'all another perspective. And, just to kind of clarify things for the situation that we were talking about. But like I said, I've seen it.
I would definitely say for the wife, have a conversation with your husband.
Y'all become one and united on that front. Have a conversation with your husband
and agree on something.
Yeah.
Because
then present it.
You can't snatch this. You can't have this debate in front of her and you just a hard no and he's a yes.
Yep, because that's going to cause division.
That's going to cause division.
And she going to play y'all both to the left.
Yeah, that's going to be a conversation. So y'all need to be on one page.
Yeah, one accord.
Regardless. So if something adjusts in the gift or whatever the case is, y'all come together, agree on something, and then y'all move from there.
And present it to her after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Thanks for saying that at the end, too. For all things Mobleys, www.momentswiththemobleys.com.
Except on...
I just gave him the website.
Never mind.
You're crazy.
Mobley
Moments on Twitter.
Mobley Moments.
We're done, y'all. We hope that helped somebody somewhere with something. Yeah, we wish the best for you all, though.
And thank y'all for asking questions. This has been Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
I'm his wife, Deirdra Mobley.
And we something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
Greetings,
amen.
Salutations, accolades.
Night, night. Wave your finger. Night, night.